So, you want to find a job, but it's getting difficult, and maybe you're applying to quite a few, but you're just not getting it. So, why is that? One of the main reasons you're probably not getting accepted to jobs is because you're not standing out enough. So, how do you stand out? Well, that comes down to your experience, your skills, the way you talk in the interview, many things. But for this video, we're going to focus on the skills that you need and how you can possibly gain those skills and how you can express that within the interview. As we all know, the job market in this day and age is very difficult, and a lot of people are struggling with finding jobs, even if they're highly qualified. So you need to stand out with these skills. You need to be able to show it, and you need to be able to explain it and get that point across that you've actually got these skills. Hopefully you can land some jobs. So I'll be covering some key skills within this video, the ones that employers usually look out for, and how to develop them. First skill that every employer looks out for is communication. How well can you communicate when it comes to work, when it comes to feelings, when it comes to difficulties? How well can you get your point across? And this isn't only verbal, but it's also written. A lot of the time, you'll be writing emails, you'll be sending messages, you'll be calling people. So there's both the verbal and written communication, and you have to excel at both. Your grammar has to be good. Your language use has to be good. Your vocab has to be good. You have to be respectful. You have to get your point across in a concise way. You can't just waffle on. And there's laws to it when it comes to communication, but you have to find ways to build that up. For verbal communication skills, you can do work experience, a lot of customer facing experience. That'll help the way you talk to people. That'll help the way you communicate your point across. So if you were to have customer facing experience on your CV, that would help you stand out, because then the employer can see that he knows how to talk, he knows how to deal with people, he knows how to potentially deal with clients. Communication isn't always you getting your point across, whether it's verbal or written. It's also you actively listening to others, and how that plays a crucial role in the workplace. If someone's got a complaint, you have to know how to actively listen and amend that mistake if it's possibly from your side. If a client communicates something to you, you have to know exactly what they want by listening to them attentively, or else the work won't get done to the standard that they want, and that can be a problem. You getting your point across through verbal and written, but also you learning and understanding that listening is a big part of communication as well. So you have to have both the verbal and written communication as well as the actively listening communication part of it. The second skill that employers would look out for, I say, is adaptability. Now, the work environment, depending on where you work, is always changing. It's rapidly changing, and you have to have the skills to keep up with it. You have to be able to keep up with the flow. You have to be able to keep up with workload. You're not always going to be doing the same thing day in, day out, and you have to be able to adapt to that. If you're working in a very tech environment, you have to possibly learn new skills and software which will help your day-to-day work. For example, I am doing civil engineering, and I could be learning a new software every few weeks, depending on the project that I'm working on, or depending on the task I'm working on. Just this year, I've probably learned about another 6 or 7 software. It might not be to a very high standard, but you have to know enough. You have to know the basics and possibly a bit more to get the task done. But you have to show that you can do that, and you have to find ways to show that you can do that. Again, work experience in different environments could possibly show that you're good at adapting to different situations. Employers value flexible and quick learning candidates. Why? Because if they've got a task coming in, they need someone they can rely on to get the job done without having to possibly train someone up, or without having to think that it'll take too much time before the task actually gets done to a high quality standard. They need to be able to rely on someone to be able to learn quickly and adapt to the situation in order to get the job done as fast, as efficient, and as good as possible. Another skill that employees look out for is problem solving. As you all probably know, businesses and companies will always face all sorts of challenges, new problems, depending on the situation, depending on the project that you're working on, depending on difficult clients sometimes who ask for all sorts of things. And you should be able to problem solve. You should have the ability to think outside the box, to use your knowledge and experience to come up with new ideas of working. And problem solving doesn't have to be boring, or doesn't have to be by the rule book always. You can use creativity, you can use other skills that you have in order to solve a problem. If you're a creative person, then that should be fairly easy. You could be someone who's very analytical, someone who goes step by step into everything, So you could possibly see how one thing is applied to one problem and use a similar framework to apply it to a different problem. So use your skills in order to solve different problems. And this comes down to adaptability as well, where you're going to have different problems within the workplace and tasks that you get given. So you have to be able to solve those problems as efficiently as possible. Now this next one is probably a common sense one, but it's still important and it's still something that they will look out for, and that's teamwork. If you can't show that you know how to work with a team, you know how to perform well with a team, then you're not going to get a job. The workplace is somewhere where you work together with a lot of people. You'll work on the same tasks with different people. You'll work with new people all the time. I'm working with colleagues from not just only in the UK. I'm working with colleagues around the world on the same tasks, on the same projects, sometimes on the same presentation. And part of teamwork is working out how to meet up, working out how to fit time in to work through problems. It's about working to the best of your ability, but also to the best of other people's ability. How do you get your skills and another person's skills and put it together in order to get the best possible outcome? Sometimes your personality, sometimes just the way you work clashes with the way someone else works, and that can be a problem if you don't know how to work around it. So you have to understand that part of teamwork is working around these problems as well, not just working with other people to get a job done, but how efficiently can you get it done? How can you use people to the best of their ability in order to get the job done without anyone complaining, without more problems getting added on? And being a team player shows that leadership aspect as well, shows that you have the potential to become a leader, and that can help you in the future. So keep that in mind. Teamwork experiences everywhere, in your college or university projects, teamwork. There's loads of examples. You just have to know how to word it and how to explain that you have that skill and you know you can make the most of it. Technical proficiency is important, especially in this day and age. Technology is advancing so fast and businesses are trying to keep up. They're trying to implement new ways of working, especially if you're in a very fast-paced environment, one that's very progressive. So you being proficient in different software with and understanding how the company can benefit from using new things, that would help both you and the company. Having that digital literacy for your industry, for other industries as well, would be a really powerful skill to get your foot in the door. When I was hired for my apprenticeship, I was later told that having computer science as an A level helped me stand out because others didn't have that. And it's different, but it shows that I've got IT skills. It shows that I've got some programming and software skills. For an engineering company who works a lot with software, who also writes their own code and creates their own software, that would be a big help. So I hardly work with coding now as it is. I've done a bit with Python within the workplace, but my day-to-day job hardly involves any programming or anything like that. We just use engineering software which is already out there, which someone within the company has already created or we've bought from someone. So my computer science skills have barely been used, but the fact that I already had it and the fact that it was on my CV, it helped me get my foot in the door and possibly helped me even get my job. So you never know where your job can come from. You never know what will get you hired. You have to keep that in mind and look for new skills to learn, look for new software to learn and practice. Maybe create a portfolio. If you're learning programming, then make a portfolio of different applications you might have created, different websites you might have created, wherever it is. A portfolio will help as well. We'll leave it at that for this episode, and I'll catch you at the next one.